It is coming up to 5 a.m. 33 days before we sail on the Disney Fantasy for the very first time. It is very exciting. And why are we up so ridiculously early, William?
Well, because we're going to be doing an online check-in today, so...
Exactly. And the earlier you check in for your Disney cruise, the better port arrival time you get, and the earlier you can get on the ship and start the magic. When you can check in for your Disney cruise depends on your Castaway Club status. The Castaway Club is Disney Cruise Line's loyalty scheme, which rewards you the more you sail with Disney Cruise Line. William, what's our Castaway Club status currently?
Well, we're currently silver members, soon to be gold members.
Exactly, because it's when you step off the cruise that your Castaway Club status changes. So if you're the first time cruiser, you can check in 30 days before you sail. If you are a silver Castaway Club member like us, you can check in 33 days before, and then you can check in earlier and earlier if you're gold, platinum, or even pearl. All of these details can be found inside the Magical Cruise Planner. I will leave the details below we're using for planning everything on your magical trips. But first of all, how rude, I've not introduced myself. My name's Ree. Welcome to my Magical Adventures channel. This is my William, also known as Wikipedia.
Yes.
He knows everything about theme parks, Disney Cruise Line.
Essentially, yes.
And I don't know if you just want to support me or you don't trust me to get a good enough port arrival time and do this properly.
Well, I'm just like, I don't know, I just like seeing it. And like,
I love that you're involved and excited with me. We are going to take you through the online check-in process step by step. So if you need to do your online check-in, it will go as smoothly as possible. We're keeping fingers crossed that, you know, faith dust and pixie dust, that the Disney Cruise Line website is in our favour.
yeah,
Fingers crossed.
actually working.
We've had some online check-ins that have gone smoother than others, but ultimately you need to have a few things prepared before you do your online check-in. We'll take you through step by step as you go what each of these things are, so make sure you watch all the way to the end so you do not miss any of it. For Magical Adventures Club members, make sure that you download my online check-in checklist from inside the club before you get started. This will give you a list for everything you need to prepare before you start online check-in and everything you need to do during the check-in too. To join now and get these printable checklists, plus loads more bonuses, early release videos, director's cut vlogs that will never be seen publicly on my YouTube, and lots more. One of the things is a photograph of each member of your party that is traveling. Now, I've actually just retaken Will's photo because the photo I've got for you in the folder, it was just before the Disney Magic in 2021, and it's now 2025, and you don't look like this anymore. So taking a new photograph, it needs to be ideally on a super plain background. You need to be the only one in it, no hats, no headwear, looking straight at the camera, just sort of head and shoulders. But ultimately, if you're doing the online check-in through the Disney Cruise Line app on your phone, that isn't really an issue. If, however, like me, you're using a computer, your iPhone format will make it in some sort of high-yek or something. It's not a JPEG, okay? So you're going to need to just transfer that to a JPEG. So if you're doing this on a Mac like I am, you're just going to want to go File, Export, and export it as a JPEG. So we'll just go Will photo for DCL. And then I would recommend putting all of those photographs in one folder, and also make sure they are actually downloaded to your device. So sometimes things get popped up on the cloud, which is super unhelpful when you're trying to do this because you need the things actually stored to your device. You want to make sure you've got your Disney Cruise Line login information before you start in a nice, strong, steady Wi-Fi connection. So we've got a folder for all of our headshots, for all of the photographs. We've got a folder for all the passports, and have ready emergency contact details, which we should just have to put in once, and they should copy across for each passenger traveling, all being well. We're also going to need to grab the card that I want to attach for paying for things on board. I'm actually using our Monzo card to attach the online account because everything charged on board is in dollars, and the Monzo card, we started using this abroad only because it has 0 currency conversion fees. Actually, it's so good, we use it all the time now. Kids have pocket money accounts attached to it, so you can actually use your cards for spending on board too, but we do need a card attached to the account. If you want to grab your own Monzo card, and if you follow the details on screen or the link down below, you will get £5 added to your account when you open an account, which is free, or sometimes £10. Follow that link, grab your Monzo card before your online check-in so that you will not charge currency conversion fees. You can save all your money from all the extra merch. Okay, I feel like we're forgetting something. We're not ready. Hang on. Okay. Now we're ready. And if you're thinking about booking a Disney cruise or you already have a sailing booked, make sure you head to mummyoffour.com/plan cruise to get my free planning resources sent straight to your email. And in fact, let us know down in the comments, are you booking a cruise? Are you planning a cruise? Where are you sailing to? Which ship are you going on? We love hearing about everybody's magical cruise plans. When you get to the Disney Cruise Line website, you need to head to already booked and my reservations, and you should have paid in full by the time it is time to do your online check-in, or it will not let you do your online check-in. In fact, your payment is due quite a long time before your online check-in, so this should already be done in plenty of time. Details of when your payment is due can be found when you log in to your Disney cruise. Stateroom paid, cruise activities, book now. I've got lots of videos all about checking in to do your bookable activities, which is a whole separate thing. Online check-in is ready. There is a button to say view citizen documents that you are required. We've already checked all of that. Begin check-in.
Let it begin.
Let it begin. Let it begin. Right. Fingers crossed. You should see every member of your party when you log in, and you just work through it step by step. So it's auto-filled my address. It's also auto-filled the emergency contact from the last time we sailed.
Must have quite a big service then, if that's the case, because they'd have to do that for every guest.
Yeah, well, absolutely. So we're going to select preferred language as English. You could choose Portuguese or Spanish. I think we're going to go with English. That's all we speak. We're going to select all of the same information because everyone lives at the same house and has the same emergency contact. And then we're on to the passports. This is why it's super handy to have one folder for all of the passport photos. And like I said, you need to make sure it's in a JPEG if you're uploading from the computer. If you're doing all this from your phone, make sure all of the photos are saved just to the top of your camera roll. Re-passport. Now, if you've got a nice clean, clear photograph of your passport, it should lift all the information from your passport. You do need to check over that it's taken the correct information, but it will take your name, passport ID, date of birth, expiration date, and country of origin. Next, you're going to need to upload your security photo, and this is just your head and shoulders photo. So it needs to be colour photo with no filter. From shoulders up, looking forward, face clearly visible, and only one person in the photo. So you cannot use the same photo as your passport photo. I'm just going to use the same photo because I don't think I look that different from a few years ago, I hope. As I'm female, it is asking me, will I be 24 weeks or more pregnant at the point during sailing? No, I will not. No. I will not. Ooh, accepted me, or straight on to Daddy of Four. Use the same information. We're selecting all. Whizzing through so far, keeping everything crossed well. Do you have anything you want to share while I'm doing this?
There's 6 sections, which the first 4, you can do in like any order. They're like the main ones. I think there's one for the Oceania Club, maybe.
Yes. So if you've got children, there will be an additional section you have to fill in, which will slow you down a little bit more. Now, previously, we've been checking for more than one stateroom at a time. My auntie and uncle, who sometimes sail with us, are not sailing with us this time. So previously, you've checked in for them and I've checked in for us, because otherwise I had to check in for us and then for them. And then their port arrival time ended up being different to ours, and it was a whole thing. So if you are doing multiple staterooms, you can have people checked in to different accounts on different devices to do that. We've not actually tried both logging into the same account when we've had staterooms booked on the same one to do that. See, it's very early in the morning. It's kind of warm, isn't it? Because it is the end of June, so we're not complaining about the heat, but I'm blaming the heat and the early for why my brain is a little foggy. I think that's why you feel the need to be here to check on me. Do you think, Well?
Maybe.
Okay, so Well, you got your new photo. It's so far so good. I know the first time I ever did the online check-in, this took a long time. The website was very much on the struggle bus. Yeah. Okay, is a parent or legal guardian of this minor sailing on the cruise? Yes, so Will is the first of the children that we're checking in. Will is not of an age to go to the Oceania Club. Will's at the age to go to Edge. Will, would you like to tell the good people of the internet all about the kids clubs on board the Disney Cruise Line while I carry on to just concentrate on this?
If you are aged 3 to 10, you get to go to like the all colourful or magical, whatever, like Oceania Club.
It is
Yeah,
gorgeous.
it's very cute and very cool because there's lots of like themed areas, themed to like different franchises and stuff.
If you're a big kid and you're over the age of 10, don't fear, because you will be invited to the open houses to go and check out the clubs.
Yes, 11 to 14, you get to go to like Edge, which is like the cool like tweeny thing. There's a lot of like games consoles and like board games and stuff you can play, that sort of thing. And Vibe is pretty similar, just for people aged 14 to 17 instead.
I'd say the biggest difference when it comes to the online check-in situation is when you are checking in children who are up to age 10, so therefore are going to the Oceania Club. There are some extra bits that you need to do during online check-in, which may slow you down a little bit. Okay.
Which was this now? Did you put the wrong photos?
Yes, I'm trying to talk and all the things, and I uploaded your passport for Bella because I'm not thinking
Bella's
straight.
like really different, like compared to like.
Well, she's asleep right now, so they'll have to do. Okay. Important information. It is asking Bella if she's going to be 24 weeks pregnant at any point during the sailing. No, she is not. And also, is a parent or legal guardian sailing on the cruise? Yes. Okay, probably should have update the girls' photos as well. They look really young in those. But for now, it's going to do, okay? Is a parent or legal guardian of minors sailing on this cruise? Yes. Interesting, actually. It asked Bella if she was going to be pregnant, but not Zara. I mean, she's 10, so no, but still. Interesting that there was a difference.
So guest information is the first section, then you've got onboard accounts.
Okay, so the guest information is pending approval, but it will allow us to move on.
Once they've checked over it, like.
So onboard account, we need to go and click through each individual guest. Again, we are going to use the credit or debit card information. Will it just let me autofill this? It will. So have your credit or debit card details ready, but because I've got mine saved in my keychain on my computer, it is just letting me autofill it. And address. It is not autofilling my address, which is not a problem, but is interesting. So now we need to see who we're going to cover. So
it's giving charges to Bella this time, charging privileges.
Okay,
last time we gave it to me, but not Bella.
So you can tick or untick charging privileges. So I will pay for it. It's not giving me an option to untick paying for you. I have to pay for you because you're a minor and you don't have means to pay for yourself. But we can tick or untick charging privileges.
Okay, but wait, can I just point this out? So wait, from this we've learned if you're 10 or over, it'll by default, it'll just put you the ability to use charging privileges.
You have to uncheck the charging privileges if you do not wish for your children to have facility. Now, you guys have Monzo cards. If you want to buy something in the shop, and I mean, you probably could be with us anyway, you can just use that, or we can sort it out.
All right, so that's another section. Not all sections are created equal.
Definitely not. Okay, so child debarkation.
Travelling with children. You'd skip this if you didn't have any children.
Yeah, so when we've checked in for my auntie and uncle, then we've flown through this bit. So child debarkation. Onboard security prohibits children under 18 from debarking the ship unless accompanied by an adult in the same stateroom. So if you've got adjoining staterooms, it has to be an adult assigned to that stateroom that they can debark with. So we do not want a complete authorization for children to go ashore accompanied by an adult in another stateroom. That's fine. Okay, so we're now going to register Bella and Zara for the Oceania Club. So this is the big difference, I guess, between the Oceania and Vibe and Edge. The system for getting the children in and out the Oceania is a lot more secure because they are younger. They have to be signed in and out. I have got a whole video all about the kids clubs on the Disney Cruise Line, so make sure you check that out. Should this child be allowed to check themselves in and out of youth clubs? I say no for this for the kids because I only want them there and I want them to be only picked up by myself and my husband, and if not, I want them there so I know they're safe. Do they have any other allergies or considerations? So meals, food and cooking programs are on hold until further notice. We've never had that whenever we've sailed with Disney because we've only sailed since the pandemic. Luckily, we don't need any EpiPens or anything. On to the next section.
On to Zara now. Here we go.
Should this child be allowed to check themselves in and out? No. Now,
this section's really easy. Most of the time you just kind of like do one thing. Bella's
nickname of Bella, because her name's actually Isabella, was already checked from last time. Zara, Zara's fine, she'll answer to that. We then have to read through the youth club policy, Oceania bands. Well, do you want to tell everyone about the Oceania band?
The Oceania bands are like, it's like a magic band, like the original ones. They give them to like kids, to be able to like check into the Oceania and out from the Oceania Club and stuff.
You can actually use the Disney Band Plus if you have Disney Band Plus.
Yeah, you can use that in like as a replacement for the Oceania band.
Oh, do you know what's interesting? It's giving me, for the first time, an option for you to be able to pick up the girls. That's interesting.
Yeah, well, 13 or older.
Yes, that is interesting because previously that's not been allowed. You have to pick a secret word for collecting the children. So not only will they get scanned in and they're safely kept there in the Oceania Club until they're picked up by that official adult. That official adult will have their photograph brought up on screen, and they will also ask for the secret word. So it's really secure. There's really sort of belt and braces with that. There's a Disney Cruise Line adventure booklet you can download once you've done the kids club stuff, which is a fun little activity to do before you sail. Of course, something extra for your kids to do for a bit of extra magic. I've also got the kids' versions of my Magical Cruise Planner.
Right, travel plans now. Arrival and departure plans.
Okay, I'm gonna rush through this as quickly as possible and share some tips as soon as we finish, because I can feel Will's gonna get stressed with me otherwise. We're chatting and not getting on with this.
Yeah,
Okay, so are we flying for your cruise vacation? No, on this occasion we are not. When we sailed from Port Canaveral, we were flying, obviously. After your cruise, where will you be going? Airport, Disney Cruise, Disney Resort, hotel, other hotel or address, and we just select home address. That's easy. How are you leaving the port terminal? Car park. We've booked our car in with AB parking, and all the guests have the same travel plans.
So that's quite an easy...
Super duper easy one. Port arrival time. So we've got a decent port arrival time. So this is not as early a port arrival time as we've had previously. However, I have heard from you guys that message me and are on all the groups. So I guess people who have booked in earlier, so that would be Gold, Platinum, Pearl members, that the very earliest port arrival time available on this cruise is 12. And normally it's more like 11:30. Sorry. I hadn't clicked the button.
Yeah, just making sure we still get it.
Oh no. Oh gosh, it's doing the Swirl of Doom.
There we go.
There we go. You then get your cruise contract, which is worth reading, and you can get that emailed to yourself. Make sure you read it all and get it emailed to yourself. You can go back over it. But once we click yes on this cruise contract, we can press email and we'll get it emailed to myself. Once we clicked that we've read it, we can complete check-in. Yeah. And then we've got our port arrival time, we have our boarding group, and we also have our assembly station given to us at this point. We're going to send the port arrival forms to myself via email, and we're also going to press print port arrival forms and save those as a PDF. We can also add the port arrival times to our Apple Pay wallets, which is a really handy thing to do because you have all port arrival forms on your phone. So some important reminders, do's and don'ts for port arrival. Do arrive at the port at your selected time. If you arrive early, they will not let you in. Last year I quite liked the system because they had different queues for different port arrival times, so it's quite organised and you could just get in the right queue. If you were there a little bit early, that worked quite nicely. You need to make sure you bring all the documents that you've submitted. Like I say, you can have them on your phone, but I'd highly recommend physically printing them out as well. What I do is I have my Magical Cruise Planner, and then I also have a document folder, but you can just slip your printed copies inside of your Magical Cruise Planner. Like this is the printed out copy for our parking, so that will need to be put on our car, because when you park with AB Parking, you need to print out the booking form and leave that on the dashboard of your car. So that's already in there, ready. I'll print these port arrival forms in hard copy as well as adding those to my phone. Obviously, you're going to need your passports. Do not forget your passports. They're super important. They will not be allowed on the cruise without them. And make sure you've downloaded the Disney Cruise Line Navigator app. So as well as some do's, we've got some don'ts. Do not pack your documents submitted in your online check-in in your check-in luggage, because you're going to need them, okay? You will give the good people of Disney Cruise Line your cases. If you're parked at AB Parking, like we're going to be, then They come around to your cart and they take your luggage away. It's really easy. And then your luggage will automatically appear at your stateroom on embarkation day. The luggage does not necessarily get to the stateroom for, it's generally a few hours after embarking.
Yeah.
So you'll want to keep a few things in your hand luggage, specifically your online check-in documents, your alcohol allowance. So you're allowed up to 2 bottles of wine or champagne per adult over the age of 21 and up to 6 bottle beers. This has to be in your hand luggage. It cannot be in your check-in luggage. And if you wanted anything like specific medications you might need, swimwear, in my case, a lot of camera batteries, all that stuff needs to be kept in your hand luggage too, because just anything you're going to need before your luggage arrives. Now, of course, there is one massive hack that we can't actually do when sailing from the UK, but if you're sailing from Port Canaveral or any other ports that offer Disney Cruise Line transportation, I suppose that's the clue there. There is a super duper hack for getting the best port arrival time beyond just sailing multiple times on Disney Cruise Line, becoming a Pearl member, and beyond paying a lot of money for concierge, because you also get preferential booking times then, so you can book in nice and early. But a simple way to get the best port arrival time, William, is...
Just use Disney Cruise Line transportation. You don't have to get the port arrival time.
No, the port arrival time is the time they get you to the port, which will be the best time, and you will just get straight on the ship. So we did this when we stayed in Walt Disney World. We used Disney Cruise Line transportation to get to Port Canaveral, and that was so simple, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So simple. And also, I did not have to get up at 5 a.m. So it's 5 a.m. if you're here in the UK. It's actually midnight Florida time, which I believe is EST. So figure out, depending where you are in the world, which time zone that correlates with your time zone. But yeah, for UK passengers, that is 5 a.m. Well, I've got to say, it is 5:23 and we've been chatting for a few minutes. So we got through that quite quickly. Not bad at all.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Will, for getting up with me. Now, there is something we have not covered yet in this important reminders. And that's the prohibited items. Do not bring these onto the cruise terminal. Do not bring these onto the ship.
Well, there's the obvious ones.
There are very obvious ones. You know, that they don't want you bringing fireworks and weapons and things onto the ships. However, there is one thing that honestly I was going to pack. And until I did the research to make that video, I almost packed this thing. And this is quite a severe thing that Disney Cruise Line do not like you packing at all. I did not realise how bad this was. And I was honestly going to pack it. And I think it's quite an innocent mistake. I actually think a lot of people, especially UK people, might pack this item and you do not want to be doing it. And if you want to find out what you do not want to be packing to go on a Disney cruise, then click on the video on screen now to find out the mistake I almost made. And also for the things you should be packing, then check out this other video about things you should be packing to go on your Disney cruise. Make sure to subscribe with bell notifications on for all of the pack with me and the vlogs coming up. I cannot wait to share it all with you as we sail on the Disney Fantasy. See you real soon, guys. Bye.
Bye.